I am so tired of these sheep. I hope I find some saints soon.
I thought you were dead.
Sun out of your eyes and be yourselves.
Heard you were dead.
She's dead, wrapped in plastic.
That man's dead back there.
It was worse than dead. He must be dead. Is this a dead man, Doctor?
Here's your Patreon, a shitty song.
Donate just $1 and you can hear all the songs that we write.
All one.
Yeah. Welcome to the Roast Mortem Podcast. I'm Tom Saltman.
I'm Travis Lee.
And I am Cody McCann.
And here on Roast Mortem, we talk shit about dead people.
The dumbest dead people.
That's right. Now, Travis, you brought in someone for us today, right?
I do have someone. We're entering the first religious person of our podcast.
Okay.
Offensive material.
Very offensive. This is a trigger warning. If you are a bitch, please turn off your podcast.
It makes me so angry.
You don't return your iPod.
Easy on the triggers.
I'm all about being tolerant. I am going to do Saint Brendan the Navigator. And he is the patron saint of boatmen, mariners, travelers, elderly adventurers, whalers, and also portaging canoes.
Portaging canoes? What?
Portaging canoes. It's when you take a canoe and you're like, oh, the river's over there. I got to carry it over here.
Oh,
very mundane task.
Oh, that's what it is. I'd never heard of that before.
They had to reach a point where they had to make really mundane, trivial things.
Yeah, like the
patron
last
saints,
two are kind of like patron saint of bread and spiders. It's like,
In Spinal Tap, St. Hubbins was the saint of quality footwear.
There you
That was
go.
a good one. It's not far from some of the things that they have patron saints of.
Patron saint of yeast.
Ooh.
Rise to the occasion.
So this guy is pretty interesting. I'm going to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Who discovered America?
Christopher Columbus, of course.
We're not actually Christopher Columbus. It's Leif Erikson.
We have a federal holiday.
All right,
so.
now somebody play the enlightened part.
The enlightened part is Saint Brendan the Navigator.
Oh.
He actually discovered America, and the Irish think that he was the first person to discover America.
By what means?
By means of a shitty-ass canoe.
Ooh.
Pretty much.
He canoed over here?
He had a sail, he had a canoe, came over. I'm going to tell you the story about how he discovered America.
Okay. I'm all ears.
All right, so, and this story is pretty much fear and loathing in the Atlantic Ocean. So this dude was born in 484 CE in Kerry County, Ireland.
Great butter.
Yes. We don't know too much about his life. We know like how he became a saint and ordained and stuff. He was actually educated by Saint Ida, who's the patron saint of pregnancy and eye illness.
My eyes and my pregnancy.
Oh, help me learn about church. He was ordained at 26 by Saint Eric. I went on to found a bunch of monasteries in Wales, Scotland, France, and Ireland. That kind of set him up for this whole adventuring saint man, because he went off into the British Isles and found a whole bunch of boring stuff like mountains and set up monasteries.
All right. Standard.
Well, I guess it's a little more exciting going to church.
So it's better than sitting in a room for like years and years writing down the same line over and over again.
Yeah, I'm really going to get this sentence down right.
Jesus wept. Jesus wept. I fucked up.
God, he didn't sweep? Jesus didn't sweep?
He never swept.
So in 512 CE, he decided to get this great idea to look for the Garden of Eden.
Oh.
Just
Yes, he's
out
like,
and about.
well, you know what? This place probably existed. You know, snakes and that shit.
Okay.
Stealing apples.
Who funded him?
I think he funded himself. I mean, he's part of the Catholic Church. Just like,
true.
you know, I'll just take
God
some
do
money
it.
off the side. I'm going to take you on this trip of him discovering the Garden of Eden, which a lot of people think is kind of allegory for him finding America. And you'll kind of see some stuff as we go along.
Some Dan Brown shit
Yeah.
incoming.
Also, another thing I want to mention before I get into it is that all this shit was written down like 400 years after it apparently happened. A little bit of word of mouth.
Resketch this timeline. So the shit went down.
The shit went down in 512
And recorded about...
recorded in 900.
All right.
So, you know, about 400 years later.
Okay.
Writing the shit down. He set out on a thing called a currach, which is...
A coffee making machine.
Currach, yeah.
A lot of solid waste with that.
So this thing was a 64-foot wooden frame boat that was made out of leather skins and butter to, like, lube up the leather skins.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so leather butter ship.
Yeah, it's like you ever put cooking oil on your sled?
I don't sled anymore.
Oh, okay.
I had a bad accident sledding. My name is Ethan Frome. Sorry to keep this place so boring.
I mean, this is an audio podcast, but for viewers at home, Tom doesn't have any legs anymore.
I don't. And I still limp.
He's legless, Tom.
It's a considerable limp for someone who doesn't walk.
Goddamn cooking oil.
So he built this ship, right?
With butter.
And with butter and leather skins. We're going across the Atlantic Ocean, right?
So he's sailing
a
a
long
dumpling pretty much in a salty brew.
Yep, it has a mast and sails. He decides, I'm going to go find the Garden of Eden, or what he called the Island of Paradise. And he actually heard this story from another saint, an older saint, Saint Barrett. So apparently someone else had been there, because Saint Barrett visited the Island of Paradise.
Yeah, a lot of bees.
A lot of bees. So he heard about this story, about this great island. He assembles a crew of 14 monks to accompany him.
Bored, horny guys.
Born horny guys, have that fucking like donut haircut.
It's a good cut.
The shrimp?
Great
It's coming
cut.
back.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is it?
It is. I've seen it on some guy.
Some jerk off.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back, viewers.
Yeah.
Send us your pictures of that.
Just do it. Do it at home. Get yourself a buzzer and go for it.
5 points if you send us a picture. 10 points if you just do it and live the rest of your life like that. And don't send us a picture.
So him and these 14 saints, they fast for 40 days at 3-day intervals. Like they obviously can't fast for all 40 days.
Jesus did it.
Yeah, well, Jesus did it. He's sitting there fasting for a while, and then 3 fucking latecomers come around.
What
And
mean
he's-
you latecomers?
Like 3 other people like, I want to go fucking Island of Paradise. Dude.
Oh,
Were they even monks?
do they have reservations?
I don't know if they're monks. It might have just been some drunk Irish guy like, hey, what you doing over there?
Paradise. That sounds like a nice place to be.
So this pisses him off a little bit, as much as a monk could get pissed off, because it threw off his sacred numbers. Apparently 14 is a sacred number.
14 or 40?
14. He fasted for 40 days. So, but there's 14 monks, and we have 3 other latecomers, so we're at 17.
Is that not good?
I don't know,
No
but he was
bueno.
just pissed that it wasn't 14. I need 14.
Well, they were going to do something, and they didn't want anyone to find out.
Do conjoined twins count?
So they set off, right? They're off in the Atlantic Ocean. And here's where we get into our fucking crazy adventure. Because the first island, they come up to an island. The first island they go to has a dog with mysterious hospitality, all this food laid out, but no people. Just this dog and a whole bunch of food. And they're eating this food, and they see an Ethiopian devil.
How did they know it was Ethiopian? And was this dog's name Guy Fieri?
I'd imagine he probably had frosted tips. Frosted tip dog.
You don't want to know where the tips are on a dog.
An Ethiopian devil is just racist.
Black person.
Yeah, I looked it
Mind their
up.
own business.
I looked it up. I was like, what is an Ethiopian devil?
What does Urban Dictionary say about an Ethiopian devil? It's probably some rad sex position. I'm going to pull this nasty Ethiopian devil on my wife tonight.
Like with a toilet or something. I don't know.
That's called spousal abuse.
Yeah.
This Ethiopian devil's there. There's all this food. And I guess he said, like, don't eat the food. This story is a lot like Jason and the Argonauts, Golden Fleece.
Cool.
All
You'll
right.
kind of find out. They're probably stealing a little bit from that.
Well, it did happen back then.
Right. So they were like, all right, don't eat this food. There's this fucking Ethiopian devil on this shit and a weird ass dog. Like, let's get out of here. So they head out, and he finds out that one of the latecomers, one of the fucking dudes that hopped on the boat, stole something from the island.
He actually let these latecomers on.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
he's a
Oh,
monk.
all right.
He's like, all right, you know. So he found out this latecomer stole some food, and he exorcises the Ethiopian devil who got inside the latecomer. Because
Okay.
obviously, you know.
Obviously, yeah, you're coming late. Someone is coming
late.
inside of you.
Someone's that Ethiopian devil's coming inside you. The latecomer dies, and he is buried
From the exorcism.
from the exorcism. So it didn't really work out too well. I mean,
it's convenient for some parties.
Yeah. Oh, the latecomers got a devil inside. Let's just beat him with rocks until he's healthy.
I think he's just holding a grudge.
He'll walk off those broken legs.
All right, so then they keep going, and they apparently we're also going into like no man's territory here. And they come across another island with a boy who brings them some bread and water. Just a boy on the
a boy?
island.
Okay, so we went from
Was the
dog
boy
with a lot of food to boy with a little bit of food.
Boy with a little bit of food.
Did he
Okay.
make his own bread?
I'm assuming so, because that's the only person they came across on this island, apparently.
He wasn't exactly like, here's some Pepperidge Farm, sirs.
How big are these islands?
I don't know.
Can you see there's nothing else going on this island? And
I'm
there's just one dog with like Twinkies out.
I'm just picturing a pile of dirt, or they actually never left Ireland and they're just tripping balls the whole time.
That would be very funny.
Yeah. Or
I
got
like that.
poisoning.
So moving on, he finds the next island. There's some sheep there. They eat them, and they stay there for Easter.
It was Easter.
It was Easter.
I'll buy that
Eat
one.
that sheep.
That one seems like it could have happened.
Did one of the other latecomers bring eggs for Easter?
They hid them on the small island with the sheeps.
I got the boy eggs.
My virgin boy eggs.
Don't
Yeah,
ask.
they made the virgin boy eggs from the boy on the last.
Oh,
Yes, they
Island.
brought him along for...
That's how the Chinese tradition started.
Right.
A virgin boy eggs.
Yeah, China started in Ireland.
confusing
What do
the
you know?
shit out of all of our lists.
All right, well, I'll explain virgin boy eggs real quick. In part of China, they have this area where they pee and boil eggs from virgin boy pee. There you go. Now you know.
It's apparently tasty. Never had.
No way, dude.
All right, I'm gonna move on a little bit. He hops around for a couple more islands. He's doing some Easter shit, hunting whales and fish. He shows up to this island of paradise for birds, sings psalms with the birds, praising the Lord.
yeah.
That
So,
sounds like a good time.
Hilarious. You found not paradise for humans, but found the paradise for birds just fine.
That's like 10%.
Yeah, he's got half credit
It
right
just shows up, but damn, wrong species. Get back on the boat.
They lay eggs.
These egg layers. So they find another island with a bunch of monks. Surprise, surprise. In the Atlantic, a bunch of monks. And they have magic loaves of bread.
Wow.
And they don't age, and they're completely silent. So, I mean, monks usually kind of are pretty silent.
Yeah,
but
they're
they made an exception where these people cannot talk. And they celebrated Christmas with them.
So back to this magic bread that lets you live forever. Did they cop any of that? Because that seems like a useful thing. If
You would think.
they didn't get any of it.
I mean, he dies eventually. Spoiler
no,
alert.
he
So he
yeah,
didn't take this
yeah.
magic loaf.
So I'm gonna say missed opportunities there.
Very missed opportunity.
Grab the magic loaf, man. It's right there.
Touch it with your mouth a little bit.
You said they don't talk. It's not like they're gonna scream like thief. It's great. It's the easiest thing to take.
They're getting away.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Finds the next island. Has a well with some magic water that puts them to sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, the stuff tastes pretty good.
I think this water was actually how Jameson started.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
No.
No.
Oh,
you got me.
Not at all.
I've been
Well-
sipping too hard.
For those of you paying attention, we drink whiskeys while we podcast. This is how we stay so professional.
Yeah, Jameson didn't give us money for that one.
Jameson gave us wings.
Well, I just said whiskey.
I said Jameson. All right, so then they move on. They wake up. They're hungover, I'm sure. They go through the coagulated sea. Now, here's kind
Stop. What is that?
Here's kind of where this allegory kind of sets in for finding America. A lot of people think the coagulated sea is like going through like Iceland and like up north through the water.
Ice.
But I'm just picturing like jelly sea.
Yeah,
That's
me too. I
funny.
like that.
Yeah, that's way more fun.
I like to imagine a little bit of wobble on there.
A little jiggle
Ass
on
big.
there. So moving on, they gotta find a couple more islands. These islands aren't very interesting. More birds and sheep. They actually double back to the sheep island.
Do they?
Probably getting a little lonely.
Oh, gross.
Oh. She fucker.
Sheep
Let's
fucker.
make condoms out of this.
So then they're going along, and the boat approaches a sea monster.
Oh, describe it.
There was no description. It was just a
like-
sea monster.
All serpenty and whatnot.
assuming.
Let's assume. Let's
assume.
standard mythos appropriation here. Just
But God protects them by shifting the sea away from the sea monster.
rolled that 20.
And also, God apparently hates fucking sea monsters because another sea monster came over and ate the original sea monster and chopped him up into 3 pieces. And the men ate the sea monster.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a kaiju. I like that.
So all things aren't created equal in the eyes of God because fuck sea monsters.
Some sea monsters are more badass.
The next island where it's a bunch of monks again. Apparently, this is
Damn.
apparently uninhabited fucking territory, but there's loads of monks everywhere.
Fucking did not shuffle the islands well.
No. These monks sing for them for 2 days.
So these
give
can
them fruit.
These guys can talk.
Keep them from getting scurvy.
And guess what? One of the latecomers just decides to stay behind. He's like,
Oh.
fuck this.
Okay,
What a
what's-
bitch. I want to sing around fruit.
What are we at? We're at 15 now. So we're getting
We're
close.
getting back to the magic
yeah,
number.
I think
real
we're at
quick, the
15.
sacred number. Then they find the island of grapes. rustic grapes.
Is that not fruit?
More fruit. And they stay there for 40 days, getting
Magic
drunk
number.
on these grapes.
Magic number again.
40 days? 40 days?
40 days. Yeah, it's big in biblical terms.
Wait, how do they get
40s.
drunk on grapes? In only 40 days.
Waited. That's how you get drunk on wine. You just wait
Sit
around.
on and wait a bit.
So they weren't drunk on the first day.
No. Well, there could have been some shit
They
lying
only
around.
drank once.
On the
40
40th
days.
day.
Then they find a griffin. And there's a great bird battle. And the griffin dies.
What bird battle did it fight?
Birds.
Another
the
bird.
birds
Oh,
of
yeah, because the
paradise.
birds were there. So they...
Yeah, I don't know. They fucked this griffin up.
Tight.
Cool.
So they keep going. They find another monastery. They celebrate Christmas again.
2 Christmases so far.
This is I failed to mention this before. This is a 7-year voyage. It isn't going to take 7 years to go through. I'm getting there. I'm
Handful
getting
of
through it.
Christmases.
But there's probably a lot of time of them just hanging out, fucking wishing they were back on the island of sheeps.
Yeah, probably.
You know, eating grapes.
I thought like the idea of exploring is to not double back somewhere.
Oh, but they're having a good time. This is a booze cruise, dude.
Now I'm
I
getting
mean,
that.
you come back to port.
not when
fancy.
you're on an expedition like that.
They weren't very set on this finding the Garden of Eden.
We'll find some grapes. We'll find
mean,
some
it-
sheep on an island.
It just seems like whenever they're content, they're going to be like, this one's the paradise. We're staying here. And they don't, and it seems like they don't have to be at a consensus. One guy was just like, grapes won. That's my paradise. I'm sticking.
Yeah, that's true. It's like everyone's got their own paradise.
Yeah.
And, our dude Brendan's not really into birds.
I think he's leaving all these latecomers. It says that he stayed behind, but he's like, fuck you. You fucked with my sacred number.
Yeah, true.
You're staying with these fucking boy
Why don't
loaves.
you stay here? Why don't you just take a seat right here next to the other late boys? And I'll just talk to you.
At the
Give
back
you
of the boat.
Give you a kiss on the lips.
Oh,
And then I'll say goodbye to you. Goodbye now.
A message from St. Brennan.
Thank you.
They banged!
All right. All right, so they leave this island with the monks after Christmas, and the sea is very clear, but then they're threatened by circling fish, and God protects them.
Talk to me about these fish.
Fish circling around the
Anything
boat.
weird with them?
You'd think that'd be a good thing.
Do
They'd
they
be
have
like,
thumbs?
fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Anything
food.
fancy? Or just regular halibut?
This is a religious allegory, so like you could just make it up, you know? Like, sure, they had thumbs.
For all we know, they haven't even left land.
Chicken
and this
of the
is
sea.
just a bunch of grass standing still. 400 years it took to write this down.
Moving on, they find another island, and they light a fire on that island, and the island sinks.
Whoa.
You know why?
Why?
It's a motherfucking whale. Hey, when you're fucking boating around, you're like, oh, that looks like a good piece of fleshy land to
Fucking light up.
make night. Yeah.
It's on fire, and now it's sinking.
Where did the island go?
Fucking pissed off whale. That's why. Sorry, I was taking a little bit of magic podcast juice. And then they find a silver pillar with net wrapped around it in the sea. Again, a totally unexplored area. Just somebody built the silver pillar.
Yeah,
Middle
just
of the
left it
Atlantic.
there.
Oh, that's like such a mover's dilemma. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to take it, but how do we? Oh.
Then they find another island. They don't stop there because there's blacksmiths on this island. And they're throwing slag at them.
Ooh.
What's slag?
It's like shitty
juicy.
ore.
Oh.
It's like the leftovers of iron ore.
Oh,
It's like just molten
so you're
rocks.
just getting... Oh, all right.
It's getting pelted.
Well, that's a good reason to leave then.
this island.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
They're throwing slag.
What I think when I hear this part, I really think of like that car salesman in the middle of nowhere that's like trying to sell cars.
Fast
But
Eddie.
no one's been around on the highway for years, and he's just like, I got cars. It's like pelting like quarters at the cars coming by. Just
Yeah,
like,
You need a
"Stop."
new one.
He's in his office, just like setting up his rope. He's just like getting ready to go.
Because
And then someone pulls in, my lucky day.
what are these
Slag tosser.
Yeah, what are these blacksmiths make? Who are they making their shit for?
I don't know, maybe they're just making...
Buy American.
Yeah,
But-
buy American.
Yeah,
That's-
they're American. So then they find a volcano, and the third latecomer is taken by demons down to hell. Brendan threw him in, probably.
Probably,
Any,
yeah.
Any reason, or would you just
No.
didn't not?
Do you think it was a convincing story? Like Brendan just took the guy and threw him overboard and woke everyone up like, I think the devil was here, mate.
Oh, the devil's over there. Look that way. Whoa. Into the pits.
You're dead by accident.
Again, this is another point where people say, oh, it's them passing through fucking Iceland area, volcanoes, you know.
So we're at 14 now.
We are back at the magic number, and That's
How are
probably
you?
Only
why.
took 2 deaths and 1 abandonment.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fine with me.
So then they find Judas, who I would imagine would be dead for a long time, but apparently he's just chilling, sitting unhappily in the cold on a wet rock in the middle of the sea.
But with the Judas just
The Judas, I'm assuming. Yeah.
chilling.
The guy who gave Jesus up for a bunch of money?
Yeah, that Judas. He's just in the middle of the Atlantic sitting on a wet rock.
Nice guy.
His Carnival cruise ship capsized, and he's just there.
They discover that this is his hell. So, like, kind of like almost sort of, well, who's the guy fucking tied to the rock?
Oh, Icarus, right?
No.
No, that's not
Prometheus.
Icarus.
Prometheus,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So he's just hanging out on this rock. Brendan, for whatever reason, protects him from some demons from one night. Maybe just he's like, oh, this guy's a dick. Fucking make sure he stays alive. Some demons show up.
That's a weird twist. Like,
Yeah.
I saved a dirtbag. Why would you? You know what I mean? Like, why would that make it into your memoirs? Is my question.
Well, I think he's saving him so to keep him in his hell. Because if he dies,
Oh,
he's
he just goes to sub hell.
going somewhere
Level
else,
one.
and he's just like, no, this guy's got to stay in hell. That's what God wants. I'm Brendan.
I'm Brendan. Leave this poor man alone who's dying on a rock.
I've got grapes with birds attached to them.
So this is my favorite character of this story right now. They come to the island of Paul the Hermit,
All right.
and he's been living a perfect monastic life for 60 years.
Tight.
And they see this guy, and it says Paul is wearing nothing but hair and is fed by an otter.
Oh, come here, little otter baby. Touch me with your soft, silky fur, which is now my hair, and feed me something like a nice cheese cracker.
Oh, yeah, give me that cracker.
What does the otter feed?
I have no clue.
What could-
I meant,
clams?
do otters do the whole thing with
Now,
birds?
based on the time period and what was popular, I'm going to assume it was Go-Gurt.
the grab and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude just hanging out naked and just chilling with his otter.
You said he had hair.
He had hair, yeah. I mean,
Just a fucking hermit. Fucking Paul the Hermit.
it sounds like they're going a really far. It was like sounds. It sounds like they're going a really far away, but then it says they go back to the island of sheeps and birds. Why? Why
They're
do you
not
keep
going
back
anywhere.
there?
Are there multiple of these? Like,
It just says the island of sheeps and the birds of paradise island. Let's head back. You gotta go back to the sheeps. And then finally, they find the promised land of saints.
okay. Was there a sign?
No, it just kind of says they found the promised land of saints. Yeah.
Done.
He's like, I did it. Guess what? We've been drifting around the Atlantic, going to sheeps.
Found it.
I'm so tired of these sheep. I hope I find some saints soon.
And the very end of the story, he returns home and dies.
Cause of death.
Wow, that's nice.
Probably died of natural
Oh,
causes.
natural.
Or he just died of like too much.
Got grape poisoning.
He OD'd.
Sheep poisoning.
Yeah, too many sheeps. Usually, like, saints getting canonized. Like, saints don't have these kind of crazy stories.
Yeah,
For the most of them.
He's exceptionally crazy. But the thing is, there is a lot of people that believe that he was the first European to discover America. And there was actually, in the 70s, there was a guy who built his boat and proved that you could do it. But I don't think he proved the fact that he like went back to this fucking island of sheeps like fucking 8 times.
None of that story is believable.
No.
But at the same time, if it did happen, I'd be having a lot of grapes.
A lot of grapes.
Grapes, birds, sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hanging with the otter.
that's his story. And yeah, and I mean, now when you see someone, if you ever meet anyone that has, you know, his, do they call them rosaries? Like the saint necklaces or whatever.
Yeah.
Some sailor or boatman or something, or an elderly adventurer. You'd be like, wow, that dude was big dummy.
Yeah.
I don't think he did any of that shit.
No. It's full of shit.
So, where would he be today? If he was alive and kicking.
Um,
Just Yelp reviews. This island had too many boy and fruit. You know,
I think he'd be one of those guys who
2 stars.
advertises himself. He would advertise himself as a time traveler.
I would see him as someone that,
He'll
you
have
know,
4 arms.
we need somebody that like likes to travel, and I see him traveling the band Fish. Just
Oh,
that's
like-
his big
like a
adventure. He
roadie?
just goes around. No, not even like a, yeah, I guess like a roadie.
dude, if you take this much ketamine, you will be able to see yourself in a better place. And
Dude, talk to my friend Paul. He's got an otter. He doesn't wear anything.
fuck.
All right, so that's St. Brennan. What
Very
else you
cool.
guys got me? Wow, Jameson.
Well, we could plug a thing or two.
Do the Twitters.
Twitter, right. Follow me, Thomas Saltman, at Saunched on Twitter, SAUNTCHT.
My name is Travis Lee, and you can find me on the Bird Paradise Island at Travis Legion.
And I am Cody McCann. I am on the Twitters at Cody McCann. CODYMCCANN. Thank you so much for listening.
Very tight, folks.
We'll see you next time. We're going to find someone that's real dumb to make fun of.
Bye.
Bye.